to another video on the Liv Stitches knitting and crafting podcast. It has been a hot minute since I last did a video. For those of you who are new here, my name is Liv and I knit and crochet and cross stitch, but mostly knit at the moment. And yeah, I live in the East Midlands in England. I think the last time I filmed was Vlogmas day 18, maybe slightly less, not sure. But I felt like I was doing a really good job with Vlogmas. And then, yeah, I just stopped. For good reason though. Partway through December, we found out that we were going to be having another baby. And I started to feel really sick really quickly and wasn't doing much of anything at all. But I'm almost halfway done cooking as human now. I'm feeling a lot less sick, which is wonderful, and have finally got back into the crafty swing of things. So yeah, I know my original plans for doing videos was videos twice a week, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do that now. So I'm hoping for somewhat regular sort of sit down podcasts like this. I've got my toddler into a fairly good nap routine of having 2 hours in the afternoon, and as long as that stays that way, we should be golden. So, I suppose I should start off with what I'm wearing. This is, let's see if I can get up a bit. This is the Comfort Fade cardigan by Andrea Mowry. Yeah, bit of a bump shot for you. Yeah, the Comfort Fade cardigan that I made in the very first lockdown. I probably should have maybe sized up. The sleeves don't quite fit how I'd like, but the shawl collar is lovely, and it's made out of, oh gosh, the James C. Brett acrylic merino blend in the colour petrol, and it has pilled, but I'm not bothered. I think my camera is probably not going to show the colours properly. It's sort of a tealy blue, and there are these slight kind of red, yeah, I don't think it's showing, it's like red speckly kind of effect to it. Wash is lovely. I know some people are anti-acrylic for garments, but I'm not very much pro-acrylic, so it doesn't bother me anyway. But it's a bit cold today here in England, so snuggly cardigan it is. What should we start with? I suppose a finished object. It is finished, apart from I haven't woven in my ends, but so there's a wonderful designer called Sandra, and I still haven't worked out how to pronounce her sort of knitwear design name, but I will link her Instagram and her Etsy shop and her Ravelry in the description box below, so you can go and find her. But she released a new pattern, a new pattern called the Brownie baby sweater, that I was very happy to be chosen to test knit. So it's a little drop shoulder baby jumper, very sweet. I did the maybe 1 to 3 month size, if I remember correctly, and this is in the Stylecraft Special DK in the colourway Parchment, which is sort of this oatmealy brown colour. Really sweet, really lovely pattern. The only thing I did differently is you are meant to do sort of a folded rib neckband and hem, but and I think the cuffs as well, but I chose to just knit it for half the length and leave them flat. It hasn't been blocked, which is why my neckband wants to sit kind of strangely, but yeah, really, really sweet. You will probably be seeing quite a lot of baby knits over the next few months, so just fair warning on that part. But I love Sandra's patterns. They're just lovely to work up and come out really nice, and most of her sizing is fairly generous, so there's lots of growing room for babies, which is fab, and they're really nice and easy to get on and off small children because they're just that slight little bit bigger. But yeah, so Brownie baby sweater. I think that is my only finished object. Yes it is my only finished object, but I do have a few whips to show you. So what should we start with? Okay, seems as I've just mentioned one of Sandra's patterns, I'm going to mention another one. So on the needles, let me get this sorted. Sandra has sort of revamped one of her original patterns for the Calendula baby jumper. It also has kid sizes, so I think it goes from small baby now, because she added some smaller kid sizes to the pattern, smaller baby sizes, small baby up to 12 or 14 years, I believe, so really massive age range. But I thought I had my pattern, but it's not there. So this is the newborn size. Originally her smallest size was 0 to 1 month. So she's now got teeny newborn, tiny newborn, small newborn, and newborn. This is the newborn size that I'm just doing in white, and as you can see I'm working on a sleeve just here, and you can kind of see it'll probably be okay where I picked up for the sleeve, picked up the stitches, but don't worry about it. So yeah, this is the small newborn, oh no, the newborn size. Sorry, I've got proper scattery baby brain now. And one of the features that she's added, as well as the smaller sizes, is a button opening at the back, so it's a bit easier. Oop, just slid that needle out of all of those stitches. Okay, I'll fix that in a minute. Let me just... Okay. Yeah, really good for adding just a little bit of extra room over baby's head. I still need to crochet the little button loop and sort that, but we'll do that at the end. So this is currently, yes, in testing these smaller sizes. The deadline's actually tomorrow, so I do need to get on with this, but it won't take me long to do. Yeah, really sweet. This is just done in a stylecraft special DK, again in white. Yeah, standard white acrylic yarn. Really nice to work with, really good for baby knits, washes really well, so a good choice. So that is that one. Put up there. And then another white baby knit, because we don't know what we're having yet. I am working on this pattern, which is quite an old pattern. I'm not sure if there's... I don't see a date anywhere on this, but I'm knitting this baby pattern. This is the double knitting by Spectrum 6133 little set. So it's a cardigan, option of 2 hats, some leggings and some mittens. And I'm working on the cardigan. And it's got this lovely sort of eyelet texture going on. So I have got lots of things going on. Okay, so I've done the back. Oh, that's right out of the way. Done the back. Maybe if I hold it back, can you see that better? Oh, yeah. Back is done. One of the fronts is done. These stitches are on hold, ready for when I do the bands and the neckband and things, the button bands. Yep, So I still need to do the second front and the sleeves, but haven't got to those yet. But yeah, really lovely patterns in it, really easy, and this texture is just super simple to do, but very, very sweet. I think it definitely works for a girl or a boy, so that's a win. Yeah, so enjoying working on this one, and hopefully that will get finished sooner rather than later, but I keep starting new things, so you know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be done before the baby's born. So that's that project. Then I cast on a cardigan for my toddler, and this cardigan is a Hayfield pattern. Hayfield cardigans 4520. That's the number there. I don't have with me a picture of the cover image, but I will add it somewhere here, hopefully, if I can work out how to do that again. Yeah, this. And I have started back. There isn't very much progress yet, but I've done one repeat of the sort of lace pattern in the back, and it might be hard to see. Let's see if I hold some paper behind it. Oh, okay, you can see that. So there's this lace section on the side, then a sort of texture section in the middle with these sort of twisted stitches, and then the lace section again on the other side. So yeah, this is done in a dark grey DK, probably a stylecraft special DK again. And for those of you who were watching my Vlogmas videos, or maybe the videos slightly before Vlogmas, I was making my toddler a kid's fisherman's rib jumper, and I was loving working on it, and then it got put down like everything else when I wasn't feeling well. And then I went to pick it up again, and I thought, oh, actually, now we're sort of heading into spring, although it did just snow a few days ago, so is it really spring? Yeah, I thought she might get more use out of a cardigan over the next coming months than she would the jumper. So I ripped it out and used the yarn to start this. So hopefully I'll get some more of this done before I film again. But it's not a difficult pattern by any stretch, but you've got a 4-row pattern repeat and then a 10-row pattern repeat that happen at the same time. So you've got like the first 4 rows match up, and then you've got row 5 and you're back to row 1. And it's just, for somebody who's suffering with baby brain, it's not the easiest thing to do when the toddler is running around and awake. But I'm enjoying it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that worked up for her. I don't think I have any grey buttons, so I will need to order some of those. But yeah, should be good. Hopefully I'll get it done and she can wear it before it gets too warm. Yeah, my friend Kim over at Knitspin Fibre has made this pattern before, and I've seen it, and it's super cute. So really looking forward to that. What next? Okay, we'll move to a crochet project. We have in the living room a silver grey fluffy throw that I use all the time because it's very, very cozy and I get cold. So I've been living in that blanket the last few months, and my husband was using my toddler's old baby blankets because she uses them for her teddies and her baby. So he'd be sat on the sofa and he'd sort of pick up one of these little toddler, like baby size blankets and sort of lay that over him. And I was starting to feel quite sorry for the bloke. So I started a granny square blanket. Then actually I think the toddler has touched because my row has come undone. Round. So yeah, just a standard, oh that's the back. There you go, a standard granny square blanket, just done in some cream. Again, stylecraft, Special DK. Not sponsored by them, although that would be wonderful. It's just a really affordable yarn for blanket projects and kid stuff, and it washes well. So but yeah, I have quite a few balls of this, so I'm just going to keep going until it's a reasonable size. I do like a granny square blanket, but they just take up quite a lot of yarn. But they work up quickly. I don't know. I'll always do them. But yeah, so another granny square blanket has been started. Again, for any old viewers, I probably mentioned that I was doing the giant granny patches blanket by, I want to say Sandra Poole, Cherry Heart Crochet, maybe. Again, I'll link it all in the description box. And that's just, you make 672, I think, something like that, small 3-rounded granny squares. It's a free pattern, by the way, so go and check it out if you like it. She tells you all the colours to use, and it's beautiful. And I think I got the first 3, maybe 4 colours done, and haven't done any more, but I will. So instead of having one massive granny square project, I thought, you know, let's start another one, because I'm so good at doing them. But yeah, so blanket for my husband eventually. Is this my last whip? Yeah, I think this is my last one. I have been working on a pair of socks, or the first sock in a pair of socks. I'm trying to remember the yarn. Let's see, this is the sock. I've just done my heel flap and heel turn, and I'm working on my gusset decreases. I like to knit my socks on 9-inch circulars, and I like to pull the stitches off. 9-inch circulars, although sometimes, more often than not, I'd say actually, when I get to the part where I've picked up the stitches after the heel flap and I'm doing the gusset decreases, I swap to DPNs, because it's quite a lot of stitches to have on a 9-inch circular, and it can get a bit crammed and fiddly. But yeah, so it's just no pattern really, it's just a vanilla sock. I've made that many socks now that if I'm doing a plain one, I'm not having much luck. I don't need a pattern for a plain one. I know what numbers work for me. Okay, let's try that again. So this yarn, the sort of purpley, well, it's purples, pinks, creamy yellow, and some light blue, is a stylecraft head over heels all stars in, I can't remember, but I will find it and I will link it. Quite a funny story about these socks. Oh, hang on. And the grey, sorry, the grey is a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. Maybe Dusty Miller. Could be Dusty Miller, but it's just a light grey. But this ball, I started these socks in way back at the Queen's Jubilee, the Jubilee weekend. My friend Kim, who I mentioned has the Knit Spin Fibre podcast, came to visit for the weekend, and my village had a nice sort of village fair kind of thing going on for the Jubilee. So I was helping on the Women's Institute stall. I'm not a member of the Women's Institute, but I was helping them out with their stall. And I was casting on the sock, and I think I got the cuff done. And then at the end of the day, we'd come home and I was working on the body of the sock. As you can see, got some balls, and there was another ball somewhere as well. And I'm knitting away quite happily, chatting to Kim, and then my yarn runs out. I'm like, oh no, I've clearly knit the first round or two with the wrong end, like the tail end of the yarn. And I was looking, I was like, oh no, that's not the tail end of the yarn. It's actually a cut in the yarn. And this is it was a brand new ball. I wound it up in a cake that morning. You know, brand new. Hadn't been, you know, I hadn't made something with it and then unraveled it and rewrapped the yarn or anything. So I thought, okay, no bother. So I ripped it back and I took out that, it was only a small section. Start again. And then there's another cut. And about, I don't know, 4 meters in from that, there's another cut. So I ended up with all of these small pieces of yarn. And it's like a manufacturing error, I suppose, because, like I say, I hadn't done anything to it. So my plans for some lovely long, I say long, I don't knit them long, but longer socks sort of went out the window because I'm not sure I have enough. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to do shorty socks with him because then I know that I'll definitely have enough for the pair. Yeah, slightly irritating, but it's a lovely colourway, so I definitely am happy to use it still. But yeah, pair of socks. I suppose I will move on to projects that have been started that are going to get ripped out. Okay, let's start with this one. So during Vlogmas, it was a bit dusty, I started the Ankers sweater, Ankers jumper by Petite Knit. And I actually got, okay, so the yoke is done. There you go, you can sort of see that. I got a section of the body done, and I was swapping to try and get the sleeves done. So I did get, let's see if I can hold that better, a little way down the first sleeve. And then, yeah, found out I was pregnant, started to feel really sick, and it got put down. So the issue then that I was facing is not that I don't want this jumper, because I do, but it's not going to fit me for a while. It might, depending on how I am after having the baby, the size that I'm making might not even fit me very well this coming winter. So what I'm going to do is rip it out, rewind all the yarn, and put it to the side until probably next year. And then knit it again, because I do want the jumper, I do want to make it in this yarn. It's really, really lovely to work with. The yarn is a Drops Merino extra fine in navy, dark blue, navy, something like that. Really, really lovely. But I was worried that if I put it down and then I don't work on it for a while, my tension might be different. So instead of dealing with all the hassle of that, I'm just going to rip it back and restart it so that I know when I do pick it up again, my tension is going to be all the same throughout, hopefully. So yeah, this will be frogged and reknit at a later date. But the yarn is so nice, like it's so soft. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Not looking forward to ripping it out because I think this is about five balls, because it comes in 50 gram balls. So yeah, so that is the death of the Ankers jumper, but it will be revived at a later point. And then I have another project that is going to be frogged and restarted, and that is a pair of socks. So these are the Arthur Arthur to Ben socks, and I can't remember the name of the designer off the top of my head, but I will link it. And they are helical socks. So this is how the sock is looking. I got past the heel flap and on the gusset decreases, but I've made a mistake somewhere. I don't know if you can really see. My lighting's slightly off. I'll show you the yarn. The grey is West Yorkshire Spinners Poppy Seed. It's like a dark grey, and the purple is this sort of purple and creamy yarn, and that is West Yorkshire Spinners, not hydrangea, because I think hydrangea is green. Oh, it's going to bug me. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'll put it in the description box. But it's lovely, really lovely colourway. But I started a sock with just this as the main colour, and it just looked a bit like a purple cow print to me. And if that's what you want in a sock, wonderful, but I wasn't really enjoying it. So started the helical socks, and it definitely changes up how the sock looks. But yeah, I've made a mistake somewhere, and my rows are off. So basically in helical socks you would knit like a couple of needles in one colour, and then you go back round and you knit. Like the colours chase each other around. That's why it's on DPNs. And yeah, it's a really lovely pattern, but like I say, I've made a mistake. So I'm going to rip it back to the cuff and start them again, which I might end up in a horrible tangled mess doing that, but that's okay. We'll take an afternoon or an evening and frog them so I can restart them. So that's that project. So, you know, 2 projects being ripped out and restarted is not the worst thing in the world. And apart from, you know, the slight mistake on this one, they're not being frogged because there's anything wrong with them, which I think is important to note. Yeah, so that's all of the projects that I currently have on needles or about to be taken off needles. So we'll move on to, I suppose, plans. I have the yarn for one of the plans in front of me, which is going to be another pair of socks. And this is a sock set of hand-dyed yarn that I got for my birthday last year, possibly. I think last year. The dyer is a seller on Etsy called diedyesyarn. And this is the sock set. It is called Chiffon Cake, I believe. So the contrast is this really lovely light. It's looking slightly pinkish, but it's a really lovely sort of lavendery purple. And the mane is this pink. There's flecks of green, and it goes from sort of like a very pale baby pink to this very bright pink here, and there's sort of some green bits and the odd speckle. It's really, really pretty. So this is going to be a pair of socks. The yarn is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, and it will be my first pair of hand-dyed socks. So I'm really excited about these. I just haven't started them yet, but they're all caked. I don't have a yarn swift. I have the winder, but I don't have a swift, so I popped down to my friend's house in the village and got her to do it for me, because these come in skeins. So yeah, one plan. And then I think future plans are just going to be a lot of baby knits. We're hoping to find out what we're having in a couple of weeks' time, so that'll be fun, and I can do some more specific baby knits, but there's going to be a few more of those. A few more knits for my toddler, probably a lot of yarn cozies, and yeah, so that's everything for today. It's not Not a lot, but it's better than nothing, and I'm pleased to be back and filming again. So yes, I will try and speak to you guys again in maybe another week, maybe another 2 weeks. We'll see. Whenever I have enough progress, basically. But yeah, so that's sort of it for me. And I will hopefully chat to you guys all again soon. Bye for now.